the inability of the Cash Act to get it done, how will the $2,000 stimulus check still remain in play after tomorrow when the new Congress is sworn in? Those details in this big recording of Mornings LALATE. Thank you for joining me live from Los Angeles. It's just a little bit before 9 o'clock. Sorry, I'm late. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. And the new Congress will be here as well tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the new Congress is sworn in Washington, D.C., which means they have to get used to looking at a San Francisco hairstyle for the next couple of years. But with them comes the renewed optimism of a $2,000 stimulus check as the Cash Act, the bill that was proposed to give you the $2,000 stimulus check, is losing steam because of a provision in there that gives it to rich people. And I mean very rich people. People who make over $350,000 a year getting a $9,000 stimulus check. Yeah, that's not what this economy needs. But I'm so glad you're here this morning, and I need you to go to the front of the channel, subscribe if you've not subscribed. This is now a 24-hour news channel. On Christmas Day, it turned 8 months old. 80 million subscribers in 8 months. No one has ever seen 80 million views in 8 months. No one has ever seen anything like this. So please subscribe because I'm going taped, I'm going live, and I don't want you to miss a recording anytime in the next 48 hours. The next 48 hours will be high dramatics in Congress, and I have all the details for you. Meantime, I have more details this morning about what's going on in those Georgia Senate races. And I'm getting you teed up and ready to rock and roll for Monday as the new second stimulus items start landing available for you to grab. Lots of moolah before the casino and the cows get it. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video and hit the alert button so you don't miss a video when I go live. Meantime, I'll have an update at the 15-minute mark, again at the 30-minute mark. The first 10 minutes of this video, I'm going to go over what's going on with the $2,000 stimulus check. Then 10 minutes to 20 minutes, I'm going to go over what's happening next week. This is very exciting, so get your pen and paper ready because I want you to get all this moolah. And then from the 20-minute to the 30-minute mark, I'll be answering some of your questions, but also giving you a preview of third stimulus. And with that, we're simulcast as well in the Instagram room. You can follow along as well in Instagram. The big details this morning is that the $2,000 stimulus check remains front and center for millions of Americans because Republicans and Democrats both support it. The problem is there's no mechanism to get from point A to point B. The reason why is that about a week ago, the House of Representatives passed the Cash Act to 2020 to provide a $2,000 stimulus check to millions of Americans. What it also did is it provides an $8,000, $9,000, $6,000 stimulus check to rich people. Yes, rich people. People that make over $250,000, $350,000, $300,000 a year. Not necessarily a good idea. It looks like it was not accidental, says viewers. And with that, there doesn't seem any option or any likelihood of the Cash Act getting from point A to point B being law. With this House no longer in session, they cannot revise it. There's no House to revise it. And with the Senate already battling over everything procedural with the Cash Act, it's likely to not get any support from anyone going forward. So what does that mean for you? It does not mean much of anything of concern because the good news is that everyone wants to give you a $2,000 stimulus check. That's item number one. Item number two, the ability to redo this with Cash Act 2021, or give it a better name, like Purple 2021, can be done as soon as the House is sworn into session. As AOC famously said during the Christmas holiday, I can write the amendment in about an hour. Well, AOC, I think you need to put the pen down because you were among the people who couldn't write this correctly. This is why when you write a bill, you want to take your time, make sure you don't make a mistake. And she clearly made an egregious mistake in her drafting of the Cash Act by giving a stimulus check to rich people. So when they revise it, it can be done very quickly. It could be called for a vote later it could be called for a vote about a day later or that same day. And then it's back to the Senate and the Senate can approve it that next day and then lands on the president's table. Literally a 24, 48-hour turnaround. Very, very easy. The question is, when and who would do it. There are different questions of whether it would be preempted and sent to President Trump or held and waited and sent to President Biden after the 20th of January. There's two ways to see this. One, it could be kept as a standalone bill and done now and see if Trump signs it because he promised he would. And there's all indications that he would. 2 days ago, he said ASAP 2000. ASAP doesn't mean never, it means ASAP. Do it right now. The other option is to hold it and mull it into the multiple stimulus check bill of late January. Ultimately, you and I know we love a standalone stimulus check bill. And for months, we were asking for a standalone stimulus check bill. We were told by Nancy, couldn't do it. We don't parse things out. Can't do it. We're not going to piecemeal. Can't do it. Well, suddenly she wants to do it, but needs to do it again because she didn't do it right. Will you hear lip service, and I don't mean lip balm, lip service about your $2,000 stimulus check in the next 48 hours? You will. The Senate remains in session today on a rare day because they were not recessed because of the efforts of Bernie Sanders. They will be discussing the $2,000 stimulus check on the Senate floor today. They will be discussing on the Senate floor tomorrow. They're going to be pushing the final vote for the defense bill. And ultimately, the efforts to hold up the defense bill because of a stimulus check may be sort of futile, but at least it keeps the message on point. Down south in Georgia, 2 Senate races are up for battle, and those 2 Senate races are coming up on Tuesday. Every commercial across the airways in Georgia are about stimulus checks, But it doesn't mean much of anything because where are the stimulus checks? Mitch McConnell famously said in his Senate race back in October, the first item of business would be stimulus as soon as he came back in office. It was not. He, in fact, said after he was elected the next day, the first item of business is to pass stimulus. That was October. He didn't get it passed until December 28th. So first item of business was 3 months later. Will elected officials stay to their messaging? Unclear. As you sit here today, all 4 candidates in Georgia want you to have a $2,000 stimulus check. It's hard for me to even say that with a straight face. I'm shocked. All 4 candidates, both the Republicans and Democrats, want you to have a $2,000 stimulus check. All the Democrats in the House want you to have a $2,000 stimulus check. All the Democrats in the Senate want you to have a $2,000 stimulus check. And the vast majority of moderate and slightly right of moderate Republicans in both the House and Senate want you to have a $2,000 stimulus check as well. The only people who don't want you to have $2,000 stimulus checks are the Grinch, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Toomey, who are who are sometimes one in the same. And they're not enough to block the $2,000 stimulus check. So is there any way to get it done this weekend? No. Is there any way to get it done next week? No. Is there a way to get it done shortly thereafter? Absolutely. We need the $2,000, says Lori on the screen right now. Absolutely. You do need a $2,000. $600 is cute. It's a cute number, 600. Looks sort of pretty on paper, but it's not enough. You need $2,000. Remember, this would be the remainder of the 2,000, so you get an additional $1,400. And the good news is you now know from the routing times of the $600 stimulus check, you can get the $2,000 in about 3 days electronically. And this is all really good news. The $2,000 stimulus check provisions would be $2,000 for individuals, double it for a married couple, children $2,000, adult dependents $2,000. And how about that retroactive stimulus check? You know, over the last couple days, I said it before and I'll say it again because I'm still surprised that the elephant potentially in the room has not been addressed. The elephant is the stimulus check that's retroactive, and the other elephant in the room is a stimulus check for adult dependents. Republicans have not said they have a problem with that. Republicans have not said they have a problem with adult dependents, and Republicans have not said they have a problem with a retroactive stimulus check for adult dependents either. In fact, I fully have been wondering since day one of this channel why adult dependents were omitted. We were originally told in the spring, after the CARES Act 1, the first stimulus package was approved, that it was an error, a drafting error to exclude adult dependents. Okay, We believed it. Well, when it manifested itself again in drafts of the second stimulus package in the fall, we thought, okay, now you're playing games with us. You keep on excluding these people, and there seems to be a trend of it. Now, you would think that today, you would think today that the day that they're voting on, they're trying to get a vote on a defense bill, you would think they would be considerate of adult dependents, many of who are veterans who served our country well for 20, 30, 40 years, but just happen to be a dependent on their son or daughter's tax return because they're retired. You would think they'd be considerate of them getting a stimulus check. That seems to have been the confusing message all along. Republicans want to give a lot of money to defense, but don't want to give money to an adult dependent who served this country. Contradictory messaging to me, I think. And ultimately, this is where it's confusing. Adult dependents are someone who appears on someone else's tax return. That's it. There's nothing else about them that's different. They just appear on someone else's tax return. They just chose to be on someone's tax return. The example is two veterans that served 3 tours of duty. They're neighbors. They live in a community. One is lives in one house and one lives next door. One files his own tax return, even though there's much of nothing on the tax return because he's retired. It's a very basic tax return. The other one's like, I'll appear on my son's tax return. He takes care of it for me. Why should one veteran get a stimulus check and another one wouldn't? Doesn't make sense. And so that's why the messaging really seems to have focused on Nancy's air about rich people getting stimulus checks, or as Mitch McConnell says, socialism for rich people. Now at the 10-minute mark, let me cut back to what's coming this next week. I'm so excited for you. So if you don't have that pen and paper, run and get that pen and paper and get it out. And keep me playing. Don't stop me because this is a live recording, and I want to go over what you need to get ready mentally for what's coming next week. I want you to write these things down because some of these things are available very soon. Unless I tell you, there is no application open for them, but I will be telling you the minute the application gets open. I want you to know what you qualify for. All right, you ready? Let's rock and roll. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, or retired, or you don't work anymore, these are the things that you may qualify for. First, free rent. There's free rent on the second stimulus that's coming. This is not purple. This is not what I talk about every day, the CARES Act 1 money. This is new rent. Massive, massive, massive amount of rent. Free utilities. Third, free child care. Fourth, free internet. Write all those things down. Again, they're not open yet. There is no application yet, but I want you to know LA told me to get ready for free internet. I want to know how to get that. I'm going to stay with him next week because it's going to be a big issue. All right, let me turn to the next group. Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, operators, sole practitioners, people like that. What can you get? You can get everything I just said. And on top of that, you want to get ready for FPUC 2.0. This is the new FPUC going forward. This is the new PUA and UI going forward. FPUC 3.0 going forward. Then I want you to get ready if you're a farmer or rancher for the agricultural stimulus check. There's going to be a stimulus check for ranchers and farmers. Then, if your business is in the inner city, you can get an EIDL grant. When I use the word grant, it means free money across the board. I'm about to sneeze. Oh boy. I was about to sneeze. I'm allergic to Mitch, the Mitch ball. If you are in the inner city, you may qualify for a free EIDL grant. How much is it? Don't know, but it's going to open up very quickly and close very quickly. Then PPP. PPP is back, baby. So get ready for some PPP. That is hitting as well. And then there's a lot of other sort of ancillary things that I don't talk about on this channel. Like if you own a bar or you own a venue, there's venue stimulus coming as well. Finally, the important thing to know is that if you're on SNAP now, you don't have to do anything. You're going to get a 15% increase in SNAP benefits right already. Some people showed it posting on December 31st. But this is what you should do today. If you have if you're on SNAP and you have a child who's staying at home because the schools are closed, you can get an additional $114 a month approximately for that child. That's called Pandemic EBIT. That's EBIT. Call up SNAP 211 or go on DOA to add that child for an additional $114 a month. And now the 15-minute mark. Wow, that was a good time. And let me give you an update from the top of the hour. And there's 1,400 people in the room. Hello, how are you? The toast is toast and the butter is butter. And I'm here, you're here. I was about to sneeze, but I guess Mitch is not so allergic to me yet. The big news as you start the new morning is that the push for the $2,000 stimulus check still remains on point. It still remains on point, but not with the Cash Act. The Cash Act is sort of like the cash car is about to, or the cash cab is about to run out of gas. The reason why it's about to run out of gas is that the Cash Act, the worst name ever for a bill for a broadcast to say Cash Act, is absolutely flawed upon arrival. It has a provision in there that gives rich people a stimulus check. Rich people a stimulus check. AOC, who thought she was so cute in being able to amend a bill within 15 minutes when she heard the president of the United States say, I want his $2,000 stimulus check. AOC, I guess maybe with a cocktail in hand, maybe the bartender with a cocktail in hand, did not realize she needed to pull out her calculator before writing the bill because she gave a $9,000 stimulus check to people who make $350,000 a year. Big blunder, AOC. And that $9,000 stimulus check for rich people is absurd. And because of that, the Cash Act is never going to see light of day. But the great news is that the Cash Act is just one attempt. They can come back and do it again. Tomorrow, the House and Senate new members, the new congressional members, are sworn in. And shortly thereafter, the House will come back into session. They're not in session. And at that point, they can introduce Cash Act number 2. As someone just said, Cash Act was a cash cow. It was a cash cow. And they can come back, rewrite the bill, not with AOC, thank you, and then send it back to the Senate. Rewriting the bill is a very quick process. One day, send it to the Senate one day, and then the president signs it. The question is whether they're going to do it before Biden or after Biden. Really hard to tell. There's a lot of positives and negatives on both sides of the point, and I'm going to go over those right now. Third stimulus check and third stimulus package is really upon us at this very moment. Today is what, January 2nd? By this point, the Democrats should already be writing the third stimulus package. You and I know that day one of the Biden administration should start with a bill on his table ready to sign. It takes a day for a bill to pass the House and a day for the bill to pass the Senate and a day for it to land on the president's table. And there should not be a single minute of delay for this third stimulus check and third stimulus package to land on Biden's table. So you and I should fully expect, in a way in which people actually work, that Nancy and her flock of sheep are writing the third stimulus check and third stimulus bill in the next few days, because we're just a few days away from January 21st. What's in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package? First, the SSI. When am I getting that SSI? When am I getting the $24 of SSI? Number one question I get all the time. Third stimulus check and third stimulus package. $200 a month, January to December, plus a step up, about 20% lifetime, plus a new benchmark that would tie your benefits to something other than COLA, so that every year when they reassess your benefits, you would get a new increase better than $10 like this current year, or whatever crazy number they gave you. Then multiple stimulus checks. Multiple stimulus checks in there. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because no one's keeping you up to date from first stimulus, second stimulus, Cash Act stimulus to now third stimulus. Multiple stimulus checks. You know, it's ironic that now the first week of January, $2,000 is the amount du jour. Everyone wants to give you $2,000. It was no less than what, 2 weeks ago, that if I ever mentioned the Bernie Sanders Harris Markey $2,000 bill, people would just scoff at me. Never going to happen. You keep on mentioning that stupid bill, the $2,000. No one wants to give $2,000. That's just never going to happen. Now it looks like that's the only number that's going to happen, $2,000. How many $2,000 stimulus check bills? How many months of stimulus checks? We don't really know. FPUC retro. Oh my goodness. All right, get out your Larry Kudlow calculator because here comes the crazy math. Ready for some crazy, funny math to start the funny day? How many oranges, how many lemons are behind me? No, they're not lemons, they're grapefruit and oranges. But ready for some crazy math? Let's have some deliciously crazy math. Here you go. Multiple stimulus checks, $2,000 for 6 months at $12,000. Okay, good one. $12,000. Hazard pay, $10,000. Oh, okay, $10,000. Let's add 10,000 hazard pay on top of that. That's $22,000. FPUC retro. Biden's going to give you FPUC retro back to July. $600 a week. That's 20 weeks. That's $12,000. Oh wow, we're at $34,000 already. $36,000. How about the Lifeline grant? That's $50,000. There we go. Now we're heading to almost $90,000. And then EIDL grant is back, the remainder of your EIDL grant, another $10,000. Now we're at almost $80,000, $90,000. And you see how there's so much stimulus in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. People need this stimulus, but the question is what's going to be pulled in and what's not going to be pulled in. All these provisions are really delicious, but the question is what's going to be, what is going to see light of day or what's going to implode, even if those two Georgia Senate races remain Democrat. Third stimulus package and third stimulus check, $2,400 of SSI. Next, multiple stimulus checks. Next, FPUC retro to July 25th, which is 20 weeks, which is $12,000. If you need to learn more about that, watch our overnight show on Overnights LALATE. Unemployment every day at 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The remainder of your EIDL grant, the remainder of that $10,000 EIDL grant, catch that every morning on EIDL at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. The CDC grant for frontline workers, the Lifeline grant, $50,000 if you had a lot of business income, business expenses last year. Hazard pay, $10,000. And it just keeps on coming and coming and coming. And with that, you wonder, wait a second, how much money? I keep on thinking I'm allergic to mention I don't sneeze. How much money can stimulus have in one package? It's a sneeze that doesn't happen. For how much stimulus can happen in one package for one person? It's just overwhelming. The big interesting development this morning about your Senate Georgia races is that we will not know the results on Tuesday night. A major anchor out of Atlanta for NPR News appeared on Morning News this morning and said, you know what? We're not going to know the result of the Georgia Senate races on Tuesday. So people said, can you do a Georgia live show on Tuesday night? Well, we're not going to know the results. So the Georgia Senate races results will not be manifested themselves on Tuesday night. We do know the following about the Georgia Senate races. The early voting is much like how it was for the general election. Early voting is coming in record numbers in the Democratic strongholds. So in areas that are very, very Democratic, the numbers of early voting are absolutely through the roof. But Republicans generally vote in the polls, not electronic, not by mail. And remember, it takes 2 seats to fall to the Democrats to take the Senate, not one. So a split of the seats, the Senate remains GOP. It requires 2 seats to go blue for Mitch to lose his job. Finally, some people say, is Mitch gone? No, Mitch would become the minority leader and Chuck Schumer would become the majority leader. And with that, let me answer some of your incredible questions, if I don't sneeze on cue, to what you're seeing so far this morning on second stimulus check, $2,000 stimulus check, and stimulus next week. That's your big second stimulus. Whatever questions you have, I'm here to answer them, provided I don't tickle your nose and sneeze, says Sandy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure as soon as I go off camera, I'll start sneezing. God bless you, LA. Yes, thank you. Quarantine yourselves for 14 days. Yes, the virus has nothing to do with sneezing. It has to do with dust in a set. How do you get hazard pay? Hazard pay is third stimulus, so it's not law yet. So there is nothing law. When do we find out if when Mitch loses? It may not be till Wednesday or Thursday. It's not going to be on Tuesday. Why haven't I gotten my stimulus? I have, if I have direct deposit. Wait, let's see, Junior in the Instagram room. Look to maybe Monday or Tuesday at that point, then see if it's coming by paper check. Is Mitch eternal? I don't know how you do everything you do. God bless you. Yes, God bless you. And that is hysterical. Sneeze, God bless you, Ellen. Yes. It's the flowers behind you. The flowers are fake. It's the dust in the set because I haven't dusted since New Year's Eve. The $2,400, is that one check or each month $200? Diane in the Instagram room, it's $200 every month. Great question. Any other good, that was a wonderful question. Any other great questions? Um, how did you hear is how someone went and yeah, I did hear that. Um, go to the church food pantry as well. When will we know the results? Maybe not until a few days. It may not, if it's close, we will not know it that night, and we may not know for a few days. Lifeline grant. The Lifeline is another grant under the third stimulus package. It provides up to $50,000 as free money if you had a lot of business expenses. If you don't, then you would get the lower amount. If I recall the number, I'm doing it off of memory. It's been a while. It basically says that if your cost of goods sold is $50,000 2019, you'll get 50,000. Well, actually now it might be to 2020, you'll get $50,000. So if you're a business that has a lot of expenses, you can get a massive grant. Are we going to get the $1,400 for sure? Maryland. I love those questions like that. Are we definitely going to get it? Are we absolutely, positively, definitely going to get it? No, I mean, I'm dealing with AOC who can't write a martini list, so I can't predict what the hell Martin AOC is going to do. They absolutely want you to give the $2,000, but are we absolutely positively going to get it? No, it's not even a bill that could get from point A to point B, and we have AOC, sipping on something while she's writing the bill. I love the reef behind you. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Um, $2,000 a month or $2,400, $2,200 a month for the SSI. Do you have to report stimulus on your taxes? No, stimulus is not. I get that question a lot. I'm shocked by that. Stimulus check is not income. I don't know why people keep on asking that. That's just, I don't know where that come from. I'm surprised by that question. It's a funny question. I just think it's so strange. Stimulus check is not income. Why would it be called stimulus then? Uh, it's not a stimulus. It's not taxable. My Snap said it may take a bit of time, but we're getting an increase from January. Jules, well, that's good. Some viewers got the increase on December 31st. It's automatic. It's 15%, but don't forget to do that EBIT um, pandemic if you have a kid at home. Can I get EIDL grant a second time? No, you cannot. You cannot get EIDL grant a second time if you got the full $10,000. If you got $10,000 before, you can't get $10,000 again. Um, so will we approve for the rest or not? No, you are not approved for the rest or not. The bill has fallen apart. I'll have another update for you at the 30-minute mark of where we are on the $2,000. Will SSI get both MS multiple stimulus checks and their SSI? Great question. Yes. Yes, that's a great question, Diana. So whenever I talk about something on this channel, whatever I talk about, it is not in replacement for something else unless I tell you. So if I say EIDL, I don't mean you only get EIDL or this. So when I say stimulus check, it means you get stimulus check. And when I say SSI, you get SSI. It doesn't mean you get stimulus check or SSI. You get everything that I talk about on this channel unless I say something cancels out the other thing. When does the 15% increase SNAP start, Archie? It should have already started. Some viewers saw it posting. Thank you, Subra. Some people saw the SNAP increase appear on December 31st. It will cover the actual period of the SNAP increase is January 1 to June 1 or June 30th. So it's a 6-month run that some viewers have already saw the SNAP increase right away. Do you have to have credit to get an EIDL? That's a really great question, Sam. So for the EIDL loan, 570 or more, the grant, if you have bad credit, you can still get the grant. So that's a great question. Can you talk about the Lifeline grant, please? Yeah, the Lifeline grant, we know very little about it because it's a vague provision, and it basically says that it's another type of grant. It's not tied to essential workers. A CDC grant is for essential workers. And if you have an enormous amount of cost of goods sold, which is line two on your tax return, you can get the $50,000. But if your cost of goods sold, you know what your cost of goods sold is. You pull out your 2019 tax return and you look at it and it says $5,000. That's what you would get under the Lifeline grant. And now as we come up on the $30,000 and now as we come up on the 30-minute mark, I don't know why I said $30,000. Is EIDL increase coming? Yes, EIDL loan increase is coming as well. In fact, viewers of this channel who I helped get the original EIDL for Mauricio Guerrero. Great question, Mauricio. So the EIDL increase has actually already started. Some viewers of this channel who I got their original EIDL for have now started to get their EIDL increases. Others have been told it's coming in the next few days. So this is why it's exciting. So if you did not get that's another great question. If you did not get the full $10,000 for the EIDL first time, you might or can get the remaining 9,000. You will. Not might or can. You will. That is what my inside sources are reporting to me. You're only hearing that on this channel. This is not something that SBA has said publicly. This is only something you're hearing from me based upon my sources. So this is not a public statement from SBA. This is what I'm telling you on this channel. So now at the 30-minute mark, let me give you the update. There's now 2,000 people in the room. Good morning. How are everyone? The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE. It's just a little bit after 9 o'clock direct from Los Angeles. I'm here with the grapefruit and the oranges and the reef and the sneezing. And if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Go to the Fudge channel, subscribe because we're going live and going taped all throughout the day. And also make sure you hit the alert button and like this video. The big news is that the $2,000 stimulus check bill, the Cash Act, is going to not be a cash cow for the rich because the bill is imploding. But the Cash Act will likely be replaced with a new Cash Act in the next couple days. The Congress is going to be sworn in on Sunday, and then after that, what's going to happen is you're going to see a new version of this bill. And today and tomorrow, you're going to see big talk, big chatter, and big fights on the Senate floor about the Cash Act, but don't expect it to pass. The bill is flawed because the way AOC drafted it, she left out a provision that you're supposed to take out that in essence leaves people who made over $350,000 a $9,000 stimulus check. Big blunder by AOC in a rush to get a bill out that she was so proud to gloat about the revisions, didn't realize she had a drafting error. So the new bill should be made, says B, absolutely, and will be coming in the next few days. I so am glad you joined me for this morning's LALATE. Join me next on our new hit show. It's our new midday show, Home LALATE. It replaces Holidays LALATE. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused. Thank you for simulcasting me on Instagram as well. And stay with LA for more.